Good morning, everybody. As your teacher said, I am Miss Nicole from Bloomfield Public Library, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your library cards. We're going to take a look at our website so you guys are familiar with where things are on the website, and I'll focus on the catalog since I know you guys are going to be doing some projects and some searching. And then you can always come in and ask me questions specifically at the library if you've been doing some searching and you're not finding what you want. Feel free to call or come in and visit us, and we're happy to help you. So just a couple of quick words about your library cards, because I know you just got some. One of the exciting things about library cards is how much free information it gives you access to. There's not a lot of things in this world today that give you things for free, and a library card is one of those things. So it's an amazing thing. And nowadays we have so many things online. So even if you're not coming into the library to check out books or to check out DVDs or music CDs or whatever you want to check out, we have so many things online. You can, get ebooks. You can have access to, when you get to that point where you're learning how to drive, there are like driver's training things. There's SAT prep. There's all sorts of stuff online that you have access to with that library card. We in Bloomfield are a fine-free library. So in the past, you might have gotten a small charge if you were late in returning a book, but that won't happen anymore. We are a fine-free library. You might occasionally, if you keep something for too long, you might end up with a bill on your card because they're treating something like a lost item, and they want to charge you for a replacement copy. So if you've had a manga for 8 months, you might find that there's a $9.99 charge on your card, but don't worry about that. If that ever happens, just come to us, even if you've lost the item, and we will work with you and fix that. So don't let that panic you. I sometimes have people disappear because they suddenly have a $30 charge on their card. Don't let that freak you out. Just come in and we'll work with you and figure things out. Quick word about the expiration date, because you'll see that written on the cards. The reason we have an expiration date in a library, it's usually every 3 years for us anyways. It's just so we can make sure we have updated contact information for you. So every 3 years, we ask you to come in and we verify your address and your phone number and your email, because a lot of those things can change over 3 years. And your library card is also, and this is unique to Connecticut, by the way, your library card is good for any library in the state of Connecticut. So if you happen to be in Danbury for the day and you popped into their library and you saw something you really wanted to borrow, you could do that. It might take a few minutes. They might need to add something into the computer on their end, but with your library card from Bloomfield, you can take out materials in Danbury. So these library cards are really, really amazing tools for you. But first, I attached my phone here. So I wanted to share from my phone. I'll show you guys an app that you can download as well, where you can store your library card number. Okay, so here's my phone. And I have the app in my books folder. But the app that you want to look for in the store, it's called LCI Mobile. You can see right here. Oh, I can't move that one, but here we go. LCI Mobile. And you'll see at the bottom where it says My Card, you can actually put your library card information in there. So if you didn't want to carry around the physical card, you could actually store that information in here. You could also search from a catalog in here. So you can use this app in a really great way. Let me share my other screen because I want you guys to see our website. So this is our library website. Let me hide these meeting controls, get them out of the way. Hide floating meeting controls. Okay. So here we have the library website for Bloomfield Public Library. It's bplct.org. You can see that up at the top. If you search for Bloomfield Public Library in Connecticut, you would also find it that way in Google. And there are a lot of great menu options. Right on the home page, you're going to see a list of up and coming programs. See, we have lots of we have an active D&D group at the library. Off to the side here are some of our main menu options in purple. Once you can create your own library account, so you can monitor your own checkouts and things that you have taken out from the library. Here's library catalog, but we'll come back to that. If you wanted to see some of our events that are coming up, you might want to attend a program. If you click our events calendar, This shows you all the programs we're offering for adults through kids, through teens. So you might want to check out and see what Dungeons and Dragons is about. And you could click on one of the Dungeons and Dragons titles and it would give you a description about the program. I'm going to close that now. You can also go to, you guys are probably in the teen category, but you could go directly to the teen news and events page where we would list up and coming things. We have free comic book day coming on May 6th, where you can just come to our library and get some free comics. We have a teen advisory group meeting where we give pizza. So feel free to pop in if you want to visit us. But so you can check out events that way too. If you wanted to borrow a museum pass, we participate in a museum pass program, so you can go to all sorts of museums. So that's just some quick highlights from the website, but I want us to focus on the catalog. I want to make sure we get time in to talk about the catalog. Now, there are a couple ways for you to access the catalog from our website. We have, again, in this purple menu bar over here, we have library catalog. If you wanted to just do a really quick search, we also have a little widget over here on the side. I think they call it a widget, where you could just type something in and do a quick search. But I'm actually going to click library catalog over here. And it's going to bring me to, this is the front page of our library catalog. Now, right now, up at the top, you can see that it's searching all 32 libraries that are in our particular consortium. And that's a group of libraries that have gotten together in this region and share resources. You might want to start by looking at just what Bloomfield has, because your project is going to be due in 2 weeks and you need something quick. So you need a book or some items quick so you can work on your project. So right at the top, there's this menu bar that can drop down, and you can select, if you wanted to select a specific library in Bloomfield, you could select either Prosser Library or McMahon-Wintonberry Library. Or if you're okay with either library, we're only 10 minutes apart, you could just select Bloomfield Public Libraries. So now it's going to search for what Bloomfield Public Library owns. Other libraries will own some of the same materials, but it's going to look specifically at stuff that Bloomfield libraries own. So here is our general search. This is if we wanted to just do a very broad, quick search. For example, if you wanted to do your project on anime, we could just type in the word and, let me make sure I'm typing. We could type in the word anime and just click this search button. And this is going to show us a lot of stuff. So we have this first one that came up, Quick Guide to Anime and Manga. It says it's a book. And it shows right here that it was published in 2022. So it's a recent book. We have a few more here. Now, this right here is an electronic book, an ebook. And, Japan from Anime to Zen, Quick Takes on Culture. That might be an adult book. We don't know. It might be a really hefty kind of book. If we scroll a little lower, we have a book on how to draw anime. Here we've got downloadable music. So themes from One Piece, the One Piece anime. So now we've got a lot of stuff. And we also have the DVD. We've got some DVDs of anime. Not all of these are going to help us with our project. So now we want to make sure that we narrow that search down. And the best way to do that is to click Advanced Search. And you can always do this from the home button. So I'll go back just so you can see. If you wanted to, right from the beginning, you want a very specific search, you can always click Advanced Search from the beginning. But I'll show you, I'll go back into where we just were. And if I click Advanced Search, it's going to bring me to this screen. And here's where we can really narrow down what we want to do. And I like to say that it removes some of the noise. It gets rid of some of the extra stuff that you don't care about. So I know I want anime. And I'm going to start by limiting the format. I know that I only want books. I only want books. I don't care about the movies, even though I like watching them. I don't care about the ebooks even. I just want regular physical books that I can look at. So under format, you can see we have a lot of different options here. Board games, we have art, cake pans. That's a format in some libraries. Some libraries check out cake pans, but we know we want books. So I'm going to click book. And we know for libraries that we only want stuff that Bloomfield Public Library owns. So I'm going to click Bloomfield Public Libraries. Now, location can be important because you you may not want a book that's in the adult collection. You may want to focus on something that's in a children's or a teen collection. You don't want something that's going to be 400 pages long. You want something that's maybe a 50 to 100 page book with content for your project. So you're going to look under location. And now we can see we've got it limits by McMahon, Wintonberry, or Bloomfield Public Prosser Library. I might start with Prosser and just say, I know I want something, but only in the children's collection. So I'm gonna click that. And now I can click search. And now you can see, now it's limited us to just 2 things. So now I've got a book on how to draw and a book on the ultimate book of horses. I don't know why that came up. This is something you'll find out with catalogs. Catalogs have their own funny little language. And sometimes there must be something in the computer, in this record, in the background that has this identified as anime. I'm not sure what it is. I think this particular book has some moving parts. So there might be something in there that has it classified, that uses the term anime, and may be inaccurate, but it may be there. And that's why this is coming up. But this is not at all what I want. So I'm going to go back to advanced search. And I'm going to say, you know what? I'm not going to look at just children's. I'm going to look at any collection that Bloomfield has. And now let me click my search. Now I've got more stuff. So now I see I've got, quick guide to anime. We saw that before, but now I've got something about the art and artists of anime, the history of anime. And let's say that I look at this one, I'm like, that's exactly what I want. I want to explore the history of anime and manga. That's gonna be part of my project. Let's click into this record. So you can see as I move my cursor over it, the coloring changes. This is a hyperlink, so it lets you click into the record. And now I'm looking at the record itself. So here again, we have the title. We have the author. So if you wanted to look at other books by the same author, you could click on the author's name. Tells us it's a book. And again, copyright will probably be very important for project work you do. If this copyright date said 1972, you would know it's an older book and doesn't have any recent information about anime. So that could be very important to some of you for your topic. So copyright will be very important. I can see here that 2 libraries own the book. Bloomfield, we have it in our teen collection, and Cromwell has it in their teen collection. This shows the status. It shows that it's on shelf, meaning that you could come in today and check it out. If it was checked out to somebody, it would have a date here. It would show the approximate return date. It might say, May 3rd, 2023. So you would know if somebody returned it on time, it might be back in the library by May 3rd of 23. We come a little lower, we see that it's 64 pages. So we know about the size that the book will be. There are some color illustrations, which is something we want. And here, this is kind of fun. It's telling us it's part of a series of books. And you may say, you know what, this is exactly the kind of book I want. And so I want to see what other things are in this particular series. If you clicked on this series name, it's going to show you all the books in that series. So I see, so they have something on anime and manga fandom. That's really, I really want to talk about cosplay in my report. Or, I'd love to get into the art and artists of manga. So this is a great way to dig a little deeper and to fine tune the materials you're looking for. So I'm going to go back into the record. And here's another way. You can see here, also highlighted in blue, you can see if I move my cursor over these subject terms, you could click on any of these subject terms and they will take you to books that also use those subject terms. So this is a great way. This tool in particular, I have used this time and again. Because when you're using catalogs and doing searches, you don't always know the right words to use for what you're searching. You might be trying to, like with anime, you're doing a search that could be very broad. You can get a lot of information if you just search on the word anime. But you may know that you specifically want to talk about, maybe you're doing a personal search and you just want to know about movies or something. So you can look at this list of subject terms and say, you know what? I think the one that appeals to me the most for my project is animated films from Japan. That seems like a term that would work for me. So if you clicked on that, it would bring you anything that used those particular subject terms. So now we're going to get a mixture of stuff again. We have some downloadable videos. We have some DVDs. We have some books again. All those books from that series are included. But maybe you do want to use some clips from some of these DVDs as part of your project. Here we've got some ebooks that might not be available in physical form. You might say, ooh, the comic book history of animation. That sounds great. It's copyright 2021. I would like to look at that ebook. I'm going to include that. So that's a great way to dive a little deeper with your subject terms, because there are a lot of times where somebody has a request of me in the library and says, I would like to find books about this. And it takes me a while to figure out exactly what the right words to use are. So it's okay to go back and forth and to try different terms. Like you saw when I brought up that book about horses, that was kind of a surprise. So I needed to broaden my search again. So sometimes you get too narrow, and then you need to sort of back out of that a little bit and broaden your search. Another example, let's say, and you can do this right from this screen. So let's say I'm not going to do the advanced search. I'm just going to type in another search term, and I'm going to say, I want to look up artificial intelligence. That's going to be my product. So artificial, make sure I spell it right, intelligence. And I just hit return. You can hit your return key too, or that button. So now again, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got audiobooks. I've got DVDs. Some of these look like adult books. Some of them look like kind of weird things. I know I need to limit this a little more. So I am going to actually, let's see, and you can see some of the copyrights too. We've got some older ones, like 2017 is a little older, 2016, if I scroll down, the 2020s are a little better, but you can see that there are definitely some older dates that I probably wouldn't want to do something with. Some of them might not even be nonfiction books. They might be fiction books, and you really just want to focus on nonfiction. But if we actually click into the record, so let's just pick one that looks good. I'm gonna let me show you this too on the sidebar. If you didn't,
sorry to interrupt. I'm just giving you a little 10 more minutes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
So if you look off to the side here, here's another way. You can click advanced search here, but you can also limit things off to the side here. And I know, let me just look at books. So I'm going to click at books. And now it's brought up some books. You can see some of these. I know some of these are fiction titles. Let me see if I can find, I'm not quite finding the stuff that I'm looking for. I see a lot of fiction books. So I might have to think on my own so what would be another kind of term we could use? Maybe I want to try searching robots and see if I have a little better luck. So I'm going to do a general search on robots. And now I've got a different variety of things. So now when I look here, I say, you know what? This looks like a nonfiction book. And it looks like the kind of book I want, but the date is kind of old. It's 2018. So let me click into the record. Let me take a look. And if I scroll down, again, you can look at the subject terms. And you know what? I want anything that's juvenile literature and robotics. That seems like exactly what I want. So now if I click that subject term, it's going to limit it. And now I'm getting more of the things that I wanted and expected. Robots and drones. I can make robots, cool robots, build a robot. Here again is that artificial intelligence book. So that's another way that you guys can limit your searches. Now let me, and some of this is going to be you just playing around with the catalog. So like I said, you're going to have to play with the terminology, and you can always start broad and narrow it down. That's usually the best strategy. But sometimes if you do a search and you're not getting anything, it's probably because you're too narrow with the way you're searching. So if you've clicked a lot of advanced search buttons, you've probably clicked too many. And if you take off some of those and just do a general search and start broad and then work your way down slowly, you'll be able to narrow in on the subject that you want. Now, I wanted to just before we wrap up, I wanted to show you just a couple of other spots on our website that might help you with your searching. We have some menu bars along the top as well. Under online resources, I usually just go to A to Z online resources. That just lists everything we've got from A to Z in alphabetical order. So you can scroll down and find things. Here's Comics Plus if you wanted to read something for fun. But we do have the Hartford Current, and you would be able to access the historic Hartford Current all the way back to 1764. So if you wanted to search on, historic pandemics or, problems with rats in like 1800, you might be able to find a newspaper article here. We also have the New York Times, and that requires you have to set up an account, but it's still free. The New York Times is a little fussier about how you access their content, but there are instructions on how to do that. And one other place I wanted to show you guys for sure is Research It CT. So if you click on this, it's going to take you to the Connecticut State Library's homepage. All of these materials are free to you with a Connecticut Library card. And right under this resources list on the side, you'll see that we can specify by sort of age category, where you are in school. So I'm going to click for middle schools. And when I click that, you're going to see a whole variety of databases with vetted content, so professionally vetted content that you can use for your projects. So they've got a column that lists magazines and journals. They've got various newspapers. You could do the Chicago Tribune. You could do Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. They've got a ton of history and biography databases, which I always point kids to because a lot of times kids want to do projects on current celebrities or sports figures. And a lot of times those people don't have books written about them yet, but they would likely have something in one of these biography databases. And here we have some health and science resources too. So all of these, all you would need to do, I'll just as an example, if you clicked into Biography Reference Bank, because I'm in the library, I'm going in without it asking for me for a library card number. You might be prompted to from home to use a library card number. But now I can just search on a celebrity. Like if I typed in David Beckham and I did a search, it's going to bring up articles about David Beckham, access now online, the full text, and this one gives me options. I can download a PDF or do online with the full text. So this is an amazing resource for you guys as well for your projects. So I want to make sure you saw this too. And you can see it keeps on going down. There's tons of different databases for you to poke through for your projects. And so these definitely you would want to take a peek at when you're doing some of your projects. And like I said, always feel free. You can call us on the phone. You can email us here at where it says Ask a Librarian. If you clicked on that, it would send an email to one of our library accounts that librarians are constantly looking at. So if you had a question and you wanted to email it that way, you could. You can always call me or just pop in and ask questions, and we are happy to help you. So like I said, anytime you have a question or an issue, just feel free to come in and just talk to us. We are very friendly people. So we just want to help you and make sure you have access to your free content. So pop in anytime.
All right, this is very useful, informative information for us. That's really going to help us out. So we thank you for making this process very convenient, because no one had to go into the library to get these cards. You did a lot of footwork for us, so we appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we hope you have a great day, and I'll be in touch very soon.
All right. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your day.
Bye.